everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily if you are new, and I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some farmhouse Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs. Some of these are new, some of these are past favorites that I have created, and I hope that you will just be inspired and motivated to recreate these to decorate your home this year on a budget. If you do enjoy this, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and then obviously subscribe if you are new, because I'm sharing lots of Christmas DIYs and Christmas decorating videos over the course of November and December. I don't want you to miss out on those. I have shared lots of Christmas DIYs already in October, so if you missed any of those, I will leave playlists linked down in the description box below, that way you can catch up on those and get lots of ideas. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with these farmhouse Christmas DIYs. For this DIY, we're going to start by making the bow first. I'm just making one loop, and then I'm going to draw that piece of ribbon over again, and then just make another loop and continuing that, just alternating sides, whichever direction that ribbon is going in. I'm just going to make that loop. I'm going to get 3 on each side, and then the last piece will go over the top, and then you'll want to basically hold that down while you get a piece of wire or some type of ribbon to tie it. And then I'm basically going to loop that wire over, tie a little knot in it or twist it on the back, and then basically it cinches your bow together, and this is the way it will look. I'm using wired ribbon, which I suggest doing, and then I'm just going to cut the tips of the ribbon here. You can do it in either direction if you want. You can make a V in it, it's completely up to you. But now that we have that done, you can leave it just like this, or you're going to take a little bit of extra ribbon, loop that over the top, and cut that, and then just glue that on top of the ribbon, and it gives it a nice finished polished look. You can do way more than just 3 loops on each side. You can do 5 if you want, 2, 1. It works, whatever works for you. The next step is to get a grapevine wreath. I'm using the lighter frosted sprigs are from Dollar Tree. They're just called the regular fern there. They're new this year and I love the way they look. So I'm just layering those on each side. I left a spot in the middle for my bow. Now this eucalyptus is actually from Walmart. It's $2 a bundle and you get quite a bit. I only used 1 bundle for this, and I'm basically alternating that underneath the frosted stems, and I really like the way these two greeneries look together. If you're not into it, you can just do 1 if you want to, and you don't have to just stick with green. You could do reds or berries or whatever works for you. Then I took the pine cones that already had stems on them that are from the Dollar Tree, and I just layered those in as well. You can do however many small or large that you want. Next I took this burlap ribbon bow that I made, just doing a simple, basically regular tie, and then I glued that to the wreath, and I glued my other one on top of it. And here, this is where you can add to your wreath. There's this joy sign that you can get from Target Dollar Spot, or you can add a truck to it if you want to paint that. But in the end, I just ended up leaving it just the wreath with the bow and the greenery, and I really like the way it all came together. I think it's really pretty. And I also just wanted to put what your supplies were. You can screenshot this in case you want to pick these up at the store. For this DIY, you are going to want these 2 signs from Dollar Tree. I just took the Santa one and flipped it over and then tried to remove the tag. The Snowman sign, I just ripped off the fabric that was on top. I've had this sign for 2 years from Dollar Tree. I think they still carry it. I know they have a few different versions of it now, so just be on the lookout for something similar. I also took off the wood sign that was on the top. I took off his nose, and then took the scarf off and the berries. The fabric, you'll just want to toss it. Then I took some of my Waverly white paint and just brushed where I was going to put his face. You don't have to do the top or the very bottom of it, because we're going to dress that up later on. And then I did the same thing, just repeated it to the back of the Santa sign. If you want to use the front of the Santa sign, you totally can. I would just suggest sanding down the glitter that's on top, and you might need 2 coats of paint for the top because it is red. Now I was just dry brushing this on, and then I realized I wanted it to be solid for the top part, so just do what works for you. The bottom can be more vintage looking if you want it to be. Then I took the nose of the snowman and I painted this black. You can leave it orange if you want to, but I'm going for a very farmhouse look for this. And then I took the top of his hat and I just flipped that over and painted the back of it black. You can leave it as let it snow if you want to. Again, it's completely up to you. The next step was to take your fabric of choice. This came from Joann's many moons ago, but they might still have something similar. You can get it from Walmart, wherever. I just took the scarf and traced around it with a pencil, and then just cut that out with my scissors. And you can use fabric, you can use paper for this. It's completely up to you. I took some glue and then mushed that around onto the sign, spreading that out. And then I'm going to take my piece of fabric, or if you're using paper for this, like scrap paper, you can put that on there as well. Again, use what you have. Be creative in your own way. Figure out what you want to use and your sign to look like. The next step, I took a ruler for this, and I used my paint pen and just traced a straight line across. And we're basically giving this sign a shiplap look. And you can do this however thick or skinny you want. It's completely up to you. The ruler works really well for this, and it's my painting one, so I don't care if I get paint on it. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. It wipes off fairly easy. So you're just going to do that to the top part of the sign, and then you're going to do it to the face of the snowman as well. Now the sign that said let it snow, I remember I painted the back of it black. Now I'm just going to freehand this house on it. You can write whatever you want. You can also use stick-on letters and then just Mod Podge them on or glue them on. It's completely up to you, but I decided just to freehand it and it works fairly well. Do what works for you. Once that allowed that to dry, and I actually put fabric on the top of his hat, I glued that piece onto it. Then I took his nose and glued that on next. And then I took the scarf piece and added the glue onto the face, and then just added that right on. And then I'm going to flip this over, and we are going to work on the bottom part. Now the metal words that Dollar Tree has did not fit the way I wanted it to, so I took this fall sign that I had left over and put that on top just to extend it, so that way my sign, I could put the metal word on and then put an S at the very end of it. That way it says, "In this house believes." But again, you don't have to do this. You could freehand whatever you want on that. I could have done that, but I was determined to use this metal word. I used it from another project as well. But now I'm going to glue the head onto the body, and I'm adding glue just at the very base of it and sticking that on. And then I'm using these popsicle sticks just to add added support to the back of the sign, just so it holds together really well. And then I decided to put on some eyeballs. You don't have to. I was going to leave these out, but last time I left eyeballs off of my snowman, people said he's missing a mouth and an eyeball, so I added them for you guys. I think it looks good though. And then I took these snowflakes that Dollar Tree has. They're wooden cutouts. They usually come in a 5 or 6 pack, I think. And I went ahead and glued that on, and I put 2 of those on, and then I just took some of my white berries and put those on near his hat and glued them on the back. And then the berries that originally came on the snowman, I added those back on there as well. And this is how he turned out. I think he's really adorable. I love how shiplap he looks. I think it's really cute. Again, you can make it say whatever you wanted. The trees are from Target Dollar section. I just added some ribbon from Walmart. And again, you can take a screenshot of all the supplies you need for this. For the next DIY, I want to get this wrapping paper. It is in the aisle that they have all of their posted stuff in the Dollar Tree, a Sharpie or a paint pen, and then you're going to want some paper clips, any size will do, some twine. Dollar Tree was out, so I just used my backup twine, and then some carbon paper. I'll leave mine linked down below if you want to use that, and then a ballpoint pen. And then these are my words that I printed out using Word. Super easy. You'll just cut them down to size, and I'll go ahead and show you in Word how I do it. So this is just regular Microsoft Word, and then I will go ahead and put in my words, highlight them, and then I'll go over to the font and see whichever font I like the best and kind of play around with it. For this one I'm using Magnolia Sky. I really like this one. And then all you have to do is go over to the Insert tab and then click that big A right there, and then I go to the third one over because it just outlines it and uses less ink, and then I'll go to the little A, hit the transform button, and take the third link down. And then basically this will allow you to stretch the words however big or small you want them, and you can do this for each word or a few words or the entire thing. It's completely up to you. And then I always set my margins to very small. So here you're just going to want to fold out the paper and then start rolling it up, and I found at least 6 to 8 rolls was good, and maybe even 10, and then just take your paper clip and clip that on each end, and that'll hold that in place. And the thing I like about this is that you can put tons of different signs on this one scroll, because there's quite a bit of paper on this, which is really cool. Once you have that, go ahead and hold it back because it will want to roll up on you. And then I just started taking my words and laying them out, kind of dry fitting them, see how I wanted them to fit and look on the page. And normally you're going to want to measure this and everything like I'm doing here, making sure everything's even on each side. I like symmetry. And then I usually tape this stuff down, but since it's on paper, I'm not taping it. I'm just leaving it free to blow away, basically. So just hold it down as you insert your carbon paper, and then I just start tracing around the outside of the letters. Basically everything that's outlined is what I will outline, and that will just give me everything I need to do to fill in. Like I said, if you have beautiful handwriting, then freehand it, baby, but I do not. Mine sucks. So as you can see, it just outlines it perfectly, and it's really good. And I just do this for the rest of the sign. If a paper does move, just eyeball it if you need to. If you want to, get out your measuring tape and measure it. Have that all done, then I just went ahead and started with the Sharpie first, and then I just started outlining the words, and then you'll basically fill them in. So it's basically like an adult coloring game. This is how I make my signs normally, my wood farmhouse signs, except I use paint. Now the Sharpie I found did well. Mine was running out of ink, which was a bummer. I would suggest, if you're going to be doing larger letters like I did, get a bigger ball end on it, or a thicker end to your Sharpie versus just the regular writing style, because that'll save you a lot less just coloring in. Put on a movie, relax, and color away, basically. Here I'm using the paint pen, which I actually liked the coverage of it because it was actually full of ink, basically, or paint. Versus the Sharpie, you can see how it was kind of faded, so I actually went ahead and got over that after I got done with doing all the letters with the paint pen. Neither the paint pen or the Sharpie bled through the paper, so if you're worried about that, it does not. At least for me, it didn't. Next, once you have that, go ahead and take your twine and loop it through one end and just push it all the way through. And then you're going to want to figure out the length. I cut too much, so I decided to cut mine down a little bit. Leave a little bit for you to tie a knot in. And once you do that, just go ahead and cut away. And then I took some tape and just taped the end. That way it wouldn't fray, especially with the rope. You don't want it to fray on you. And then I just went ahead and tied a knot. And I kept it pretty small because that knot's going to go inside the tube. So if your tube is small, you're going to want to make your knot smaller so you don't have big ends sticking out the way I had it there. And then go ahead and just file that through. That way that knot is in the middle and you won't see it. And that is how you're going to hang your sign. And then the paper clips on the ends will keep it from basically rolling up or rolling out. And this is the way it turned out. I think it looks really beautiful. I do know I have 2 ends in there. I can't redo that, so ignore that part. But now we're going to make this pillow. You'll want a glue gun or a sewing machine, your preference, some pillow stuffing, as well as these gift bag totes. And I like these because they're a very good size. They have a ton of different colors on them. I love this one that says naughty, nice, or tired. And just go ahead and take your pillow stuffing and stuff that inside. Now you could just cinch this, but I wanted it to look like a normal pillow, so I just added some glue along the trim and just folded that over and then just pressed that together. You can use a sewing machine for this, or you can use the adhesive tape as well. Do whatever works for you. I found that this was the easiest, and I love the way this looked. For the next one, you're going to want a glue gun, the star banner. This is the wood ones, and then they also have these puff balls that look like snow. They also have this other garland that has red and silver on it, so you can choose whichever banner you're going to use. I like the star one especially since it drops down. All I'm doing is adding a little bit of glue to the middle string between the stars and then gluing the snowballs to it basically. You could add these wherever you wanted to. You could add them to the stars if you wanted to, or above the stars. But I thought they looked really good, and then I thought I might need just a little bit more because I like that rustic look. So I have these regular pine cones that you can just use a little bit of white paint on the tips, and then I'm just adding a little bit of glue and gluing that to the top of the star string. And I really liked the way this looked together. It definitely has that rustic farmhouse charm to it. I think this is such a cute garland, and you can obviously personalize the stars the way you would like to. The next Christmas DIY, you're going to want a full-size wreath, some burlap ribbon of your choice, some snowflakes, floral sprigs, as well as a glue gun and maybe an ornament. I start by taking my burlap ribbon and wrapping it all the way around the wreath. Now you could use burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, but mine was fresh out and I had this on hand, and so I used it. It's from Walmart. Hobby Lobby does sell it as well. Cut off the excess that you don't need and then take your glue gun and glue the rest of it just together. That way it stays. Then I'm going to take my floral sprigs and put these on each end. These two are actually from Walmart. They were 98 cents a piece. Dollar Tree does have plenty for you to choose from as well. Then I'm going to take a floral tie from the Dollar Tree and wrap that around, holding the sprigs on. You could glue them on there as well. I'm gluing on a little bow that I made with my excess ribbon, and then I'm taking a little bit of glue and adding my snowflakes onto the wreath. I used 5 for this, which was great. If you have a larger wreath, you might need a little bit more. I love the way this looked, but I thought it might be kind of cool to add the reindeer head to it, so I glued that onto the middle, and I love the way this wreath came out. So I hope you have enjoyed these Dollar Tree Farmhouse Christmas DIYs. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe if you are new, as I'd love to inspire and motivate you here through DIYs and decorating videos. If you've missed my Christmas decorating videos, I will leave them down the playlist. I have so many more ideas to come for you, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.